Shall I ignore their behaviour or, right, this deserves a punishment? It's all about balance and knowing what style your child is and the emotions and fears of that style. Hi there, and welcome back to part 2 of my Why You're Avoiding Conflict or Being Too Critical Parenting Style Might Not Work is the title of this episode. Many parents had warned me about how awful it could be, especially with trying to get my teens to do anything or to stop arguing with each other. I didn't realise just how true these words would turn out to be. It's not that they argued all the time, but I can remember there were a few times where I didn't quite know what to do with their temper tantrums. I would think to myself, shall I ignore their behaviour or, right, this deserves a punishment? Back then, I didn't know about the DISC behavioural model and had no idea that my daughter and son were two very different kiddos when it came to their needs and emotions and fears of their personality style. For those that haven't heard of the DISC styles, I'll go over them again briefly. D-dominant styles focus on tasks, like to be in control, and under stress they can become argumentative. I-influence styles focus on people. They like social approval, and when they are under stress, they can become sarcastic. S-steadiness styles focus on people also. They like a steady pace to their environment, and under stress or when conflict is around, they can become submissive. They don't like conflict. And last but not least, the C-compliance styles, they focus on tasks like the Ds. They like to plan and analyze, however, and under stress, they can become withdrawn. Can you see why at times I didn't know how to relate to my kids when they were arguing and under stress? Many parents find it easier to give in to their tweens and teens' demands than getting into yet another argument. I'm a high yes, so this sounds exactly like me. I tended to become more lenient because I do not like conflict. This may also be particularly true for parents who didn't like the strict way that they were raised, so they relax the rules. S styles are patient and relaxed and will avoid conflict because they like a stable and harmonious environment. They also like a steady pace. They don't like rapid change. As kids hit puberty, that's when conflict within the family increases, says Madeline Levine, who's a PhD author of Teach Your Children Well. The constant door in your face, I don't want to talk about it, and rolled eyes can be daunting. But the exhaustion and the worry about the sudden change that comes with it is not a reason to back off on the mandatory rules. You can let some minor things slide if you really hate conflict, but it's crucial to your credibility as a parent to continue being tough about the things that matter. So here's a couple of tips. It's about becoming more assertive by speaking your truth with a peaceful confidence. Pick your battles, but don't bow out, Levin says. Forget about the hair colour and save it for the piercing. Parents can't afford to back down, and you can't afford to have idle threats as well. I remember my mum used to say to me, wait till your father gets home, you're going to get 2 smacks. Well, when Dad got home, everything had settled down and we just went on with life. And I don't know where the 2 smacks went. So develop and practice courage. This is number 2 tip for becoming more determined, especially when you feel the need to give up the peace. Reach beyond your comfort zone and really start to debate with yourself up here. It's all about becoming more self-aware and be willing to step into that sense of feeling courageous. Now, what if you're being too critical and you're a little bit structured? Now, this is more for the C style. Did you experience parents who always seem to focus on areas where you could do better rather than areas you enjoyed? Some parents, often the C style ones, can put pressure on their kids at a very young age to always do better. Now, I'm not saying that this is wrong. This is a wrong thing to do. However, it's all about moderation and balance. When teaching my Discovering Me program for youth, I've heard on a number of occasions statements like, yeah, Dad was hard on me, but I know he loved me. Or Mum always expected so much of me because she loved me so much. Now, these statements may hold some truth, but they're hardly the entire story, by the way. Now, we know that loving your children leads to wanting the best for them, and I'm not saying that that's wrong, and wanting them to be successful and to be happy. By the way, this often relates to whatever happiness means to us, by the way. You know, I've heard on a number of occasions, young adults going 5-6 years to become a doctor, and at the end of their study and they've become a doctor, they don't like it, and they change their entire career to something that they do like and are passionate about, only to be a doctor because Dad or Mum wanted them to be a doctor. Parents, especially if they are C stars who have high standards, when performing tasks and like to be correct all the time, frequently have no idea how a steady diet of criticism will impact their kiddos in a negative way. When you criticize children harshly, without showing compassion and without mincing your words, they feel badly as if they are bad. They think to themselves they have disappointed you, for example, depending on what style they are. Their inner voice is constantly saying they should try harder, for example. Also, as a parent, when you are constantly criticizing your child and focusing on the negative, it can create I'm a not good enough belief in them, causing them to overachieve and to have anxiety. Sometimes these demands are unfair and sometimes they're not. It's all about balance and knowing what style your child is and the emotions and fears of that style. So here's a couple of tips if you see yourself as a C style parent. Learn to develop and practice trust for believing that all will turn out for the best without having to control things or make it happen. Stop worrying about every mistake that you or your child make. Believe in their ability to do the best they can. And another tip, have the confidence that things will go all right and learn to relax a little bit. Practice becoming more joyful and learn to appreciate the gifts that each day brings and to see the humor in things. Humor is a great way for shifting negative behaviors and energy into something that can become more positive and a learning experience. So if you'd like to learn more about the 4 DISC styles or how to effectively deal with conflict, check out our course at PeopleSmart Academy by clicking the link below. And also leave a comment if you found these tips of value. And for more of them and for resources to develop character in your children, sign up again on the other link below to our PeopleSmart Inner Circle, where you'll find so much support, so many tips, and a community of like-minded people that are there to support you and your kiddos to be the best they can be. And I look forward to seeing you there. Take care now.